want to announce that in 2 weeks, on Sunday, August the 28th, it's going to be a very special day. Annually, as Presiding Bishop, ask the Church of God in Christ worldwide to set aside a day where every member of the Church of God in Christ will give just a once-a-year $20 contribution to the ministry of our denomination. And I've pledged to the denomination that every dime of that money that is raised will be set aside for the budget of our missions department and of our education department. And only after the budgets of those two departments have been covered will we use the income from the Laity rally, or the members of our church, for other purposes in the life of our organization and in the life of our church. In the past 2 years, we've done fairly well, but we've not covered the budgets of the educational department or the missions department, and so we've had to supplement from other sources those funds so that the education and ministries and missions of our church can go forth. But this year, I'm believing that we're going to exceed the budget of those two departments. So on the 28th, we're going to have special envelopes available for you. And in addition to your regular tithe, your regular offerings, I just want you to come prepared to make a $20 contribution to your denomination. And that's the only time in the course of the year that we have this special focus denomination-wide where we ask everyone to help us to bear the burden and the cost of the budgets of those two departments. How many of you know education is important? And how many of you know missions are important? I've always loved and been concerned about the missions ministry of the Church of God in Christ. West Angeles Church has always been foremost in supporting missions in our denomination. And I know that this year is going to be no different. Getting ready to go to Africa, and I'll be there for several days ministering and visiting orphan care programs and visiting with Church of God in Christ pastors in Botswana and in Zimbabwe, and we're just going to have a wonderful time of fellowship and encouragement. We're going to carry help and assistance to them. And the Church of God in Christ exists in 57 nations of our world. I just came back from Japan, where I visited 4 of our churches of God in Christ in the nation of Japan. And so we're literally all over the world. But all over the world, there are tremendous needs. I've just read the statistic just yesterday that in Botswana, 1 out of every 3 persons is HIV positive. And that nation is devastated and impacted by a wave of disease and sickness and challenges, while at the same time it's the most mineral-rich nation on the continent of Africa. But so much is needed there, so much is needed in Zimbabwe, so much is needed around the world. And so just set that aside. It's less than $2 a month. And I know that you want to share at least $2 a month to the Church of God in Christ for its missions and its educational program. We are establishing a digital educational institution that will minister to our elders and our ministers and our people literally around the world, and all they'll have to do is just sit down at the computer. All of the courses that they might want to take and all the subjects that they might want to pursue will be right there on their computer, and they'll be able to do that. And so help us establish that, help us accomplish that goal, and all who will assist us on the 28th, I just want to hear you give me a rousing applause.